somehow the job market influence their decision making.
I'm just trying to figure out, I mean, a student that takes on the, not the MS program, the bachelor's program, the undergrad, are they suited for, let's say, a job which would be, jobs which are available in engineering or TR? Are you aligned right now with what is being offered? What you need? Do these courses and the number of credit hours actually are...
I think you've raised something which has been troubling me for a while, right? I think part of the fault is the job market. Honestly, I don't think any company out here should be going to undergrads and saying, you need to know ASP in order to join us. We should be saying you should have good fundamentals, good problem solving skills, and we will train you in the technologies as long as you know you've demonstrated what you've learned. But unfortunately, companies like ours, actually I'm going to say TRG Tech. No, it's fine. Please, I know that a lot of CEOs here, if you disagree with me, please say so. Companies like ours are going out there and saying, you need to know, be an expert in ASP and be an ASP programmer to join us out of university.
I know, but then is there enough problem solving within, built into the curriculum right now?
But we are corrupting the students, right?
I wanted, actually, did you want to answer the question, that's the important question that Rabia asked? She said, do you see yourself aligned with the industry? Do you see yourself?
This is the purpose of that.
No. Yeah, today's a new beginning, but prior years, do you see that it was, because I have found, so let me ask you first, do you see that, do you think IBA technology programs, not the business programs, are they aligned with the industry needs? Let's ask that question to the whole IBA panel here.
It's been asked by us.
Yeah.
Actually,
Okay.
we should also
That's
People see our program, now we have presented the program.
They're not.
Do people see our program to be
They're not
aligned to
aligned.
your
They're not
vision?
aligned. And the reason is
And
that
if it is not,
Yeah.
let me just complete. If it is not, I would like to ask all of you where we are missing
Sure.
on rigor or relevance,
Yeah.
so that we can address that appropriately.
So I think the rigor is already there. Just looking at the faculty and the kind of ideas I heard, I think the rigor is definitely there. The relevance needs to be adjusted. You see, there might be a few companies who say that get out of college and you should know all the programming. I think every company wants 1 or 2 years experience and they then see what the people, nobody expects graduates to know everything. The other point I want to make, Dr. Rishabh is not here. He left saying that we want to produce these high-end consultants. I would have said this to Dr. Rishabh if he had been here. It's recorded, he can hear it later on. The biggest abuse of the consulting industry, which was done by companies like Pricewaterhouse, which is owned by IBM now, and Accenture, and you name them, and Anderson, they used to be that. They used to hire fresh graduates and send them into assignments for which they were not prepared. They were going into boardrooms and telling CEOs how to run company strategy. Now, fresh graduate, I don't think majority of fresh graduates have that experience or skill. So let's be very careful. I don't think you can actually produce, I don't like this term high-end consulting, by the way, because then it means everybody else is low-end. And so you can't produce a consultant from a bachelor's program. A consultant means that the person has worked in an industry and understands the industry problems and is a thought leader. And to do that, I think at the academic level, people like us need to engage more with you. We should take time out. Rabia knows I don't have a lot of time. I always say no to her, but today I made it a point to come because I am also a student of IB. I didn't get a degree from here, but I did a lot of courses over here. We have to come and together tell you what are the industry problems and what are the skills. And then you have to make some initiative, we make some initiative, we sit down like this again and again, repetitive process, and I think we'll get there, you will be aligned. And that's why I said industry-funded research. I have money to spend, but I don't know who are the people who will solve my problems. So it's a great opportunity for you to come and do that kind of collaborative work.
Let me try to address the issue that you raised about the 4 years. We do have, to a certain extent, we do have some industry collaboration, but not as much as we'd like to have. For example, after the 3rd year, you know that we have an internship program, but whether it's used appropriately or not, that remains a question mark. We have a 1-year project in both the undergraduate programs as well as the graduate programs, in which for 2 semesters, students take on a particular project, which is generally with a particular industry, and they work for 2 semesters.
That's the BS program.
It's both in the BS program as well as in the MBA program.
No,
And
I'm
in
not
the
talking
BBA.
about the MBA here. I want to talk about the BS program.
Yes,
I know
definitely.
MBA interns are very famous. I'm talking about the BS
yes,
program.
absolutely. It's a 2-semester program. It is run in the last 2 semesters, and students go out, form groups, and they go out to the industry and find out projects. But the issue is that they oftentimes don't take on very challenging issues,
No, but
projects.
does IBA help students locate those those organizations? Because I know that in the BBA space, a lot of marketing is done. I mean, when I used to hire BBAs, the IBA director used to call me and give me a presentation on the quality of BBA graduates, but nobody ever gave me a presentation on the, I also hire BS and computer science graduate. Nobody ever gave me from IBA a presentation on, look, I've got BS graduates and I would like to send them. I think you leave the students on their own. And you know, students on their own can't really do much. They don't have resources, they don't have contacts. Organization, they will not, you know, salespeople come to us, we don't have time for them. So students, they say, oh, we don't want to meet them, we don't have time for them. So I think you have to sponsor the students and help them place them in those.
I would want to know, I know that students look at various websites and choose elective subjects. Is there any kind of counseling or interaction with industry where they can be helped to decide? Because a lot of jobs are not advertised on rosie.pk or various other sites. Those are just, you know, programmer jobs or whatever. People are looking at referrals or people applying directly through newspaper ads or whatever else. So is there any kind of counseling happening? Because kids will just see something and go after it. We've seen that in telecom. Look at the number of telecom graduates out there who are not getting jobs. So is there anybody sort of helping to bridge that gap?
Yeah, I think the question is, do you have a career development center at IBA? Not specific to the Faculty of Computer Studies, but in general.
We don't have a CS specific CDC, but we do have a Center for Development, for Career Development. But the vast majority of IBA students, being BBA students or business side students, get the vast majority of their time.
Perhaps we can provide that linkage, Rabia. I think between us we can provide.
One of the best ways to attract good students is to have a quality career placement program. So ultimately, 90% people want good jobs. And even though you may not have the best faculty, because that may go and teach at GIKI or at FAST, but if you have a really good, see, your business career placement is so strong. You have got relationships with every board room in the country. It is so strong that you can help your computer science and information technology graduates get placed. And I think that's your biggest strength. Rather than worried about which course and which language, if you just focus on that one area, you will attract the best students, and then you will also attract the best faculty.
Actually, FAST in Lahore has done a reverse program because their computer science access into all corporations is fairly dominant. They are now helping their business school graduates find placement because the business school has no traction at this point, but the CS program does. So, but it's an alumni initiated activity, and the alumni organizations from both schools are working together to formalize this. So maybe you can have a discussion over there to see how they have put it together and just use.
I just have one point on this. See, it's great looking at this. This is the recipe. We need to look at the product too. I think if we can have a a detailed interaction, maybe just with some students or maybe a lot of students from some of the senior classes, and we get to hear them out and be a better judge, because right now we are judging the product based on just the recipe. We're not tasting the product. So I think if you can coordinate some kind of session where at least I know some of the guys I know will be able to volunteer. We can come, we can interact, we can hear them out, see where they stand, language skills, computer and human communication skills. I don't know, there used to be a informal sort of class dinner program that used to happen. I don't know if it happens today or not. But more of a formal setting, maybe, this kind of setup, maybe 10, 15 students, maybe 5, 6 people.
We've done a bigger one with Rabia, which was campus conversations, where we brought in a panel and talked to the CS group. But I think you're right.
Yeah, more selective one, but we get to hear the thought process.
But with kids from the
students. And let them speak their mind out. I mean, maybe without minus the faculty. Because you do give the grades, they may not be wanting to speak up, especially the senior guys. Compre is always a sword hanging over everybody.
Yeah, just one more piece of feedback. Typically, when I talk to IBA students, the internship program is going to be about 6 weeks.
Yeah,
I don't know what I would, teach somebody in 6 weeks.
Yeah, that is. I think it should be about 8 to 10 weeks.
Then, 10 to 12 weeks. At least 3 months.
You have like a bit of summer. The summer break is longer now. It used to be shorter before, right? So yeah, you can have at least a 10-week or 12-week progress.
Can I ask one question? Do you think that FAST and NUS are properly aligned as far as industry is concerned?
No. No. Let me answer this question. Of course, I was about to say, it's a good thing that you jumped on it.
Yes.
There is the computer science and the software development industry. There's product development going on. Adnan, Jawad, they do that. There's a lot of export market, but that's the software development piece. And most of this and most of the programs at other universities are also aligned with that industry. Then there is the vendor specific, which is like the solution integration, the Oracle and SAP and Microsoft and stuff like that. So that's they don't do any core development as such here, but it's more like consulting and reselling and stuff like that, repackaging. But then there is the IT component. We have Tamir Bank here, we have HBL. We have now huge IT departments. I need someone who understands what disaster recovery is, how to set up. I need a manager who can make sure that they are set up. You have data centers which are now moving into hundreds of servers at numerous organizations. You have networking challenges for organizations across 4 or 5 cities for most banks and almost all the telcos. Now this is where an internal IT department needs managers to come in and help and manage this thing to support the business. They may not be doing software development at all. They may be just buying specialized banking software from other vendors and just keeping it up and running. Data protection, capacity and sizing, downtimes, threats from the internet. I mean, all of these are areas where some hardcore techies are needed, but they also need management, because the managers are the ones who understand what's the business importance of these functions within an organization. And I still don't see data center, storage systems, scalability, capacity, disaster recovery, information security. I still don't see that at a MS level program. And this is where you need to look at the Carnegie Mellon and the Kellogg Bridge programs, where it's a master's in IT management, and they are trying to take the practitioners in the industry who had undergraduate, have worked for 5 to 7 years. They come in for an IT management master's program, and then when they go back, they actually understand the technology cost to a business, the cost of operation to a business. So that throughout this conversation, I see that as a missing piece, and it's the same with FAST, same with NUS, same with GIK.
We are working on storage area, network type of area. We have recently signed academic alliance with EMC, and we are going to introduce new courses related to storage.
But what program are they going to go into?
It will be elective course. BS and MS students can take that course.
I think it comes back down to the same thing. You know,
computer science.
If you talk about a bachelor's level program, the expectation is simply that you can produce graduates that can think for themselves, can look at problems and try to solve them, and can communicate. These are the see, it's an undergrad program. This is the fundamentals. If they have the right attitude, this is the biggest problem. If you talk about, I've been hiring for a decade and a half now, and the biggest decline I see is in the attitude of the younger generation coming into the workforce. Maybe I'm getting old, that's why I feel that way. But to be very honest, this is a very serious challenge. I mean, thank God that they've shut down LNOs and younger people can work in the office in daytime. But they're just not serious about taking challenges, taking our responsibilities, and delivering on them. So attitude alignment is if you can produce graduates with just these 3-4 elements, rest will take care of it.
I think be specific about what sort of meeting graduates and bachelor's level and master's.
See, willingness to work hard, willingness to accept responsibility, to take a challenge and deliver. These are the fundamental skills. Communication skills, but he's asking for attitude. Attitude is just, bhai, I am here to work.
I think that's.
I'm not here, how soon can I get my Corolla or my WITS or whatever you want. When do I make the next move to that? And this is the right attitude. Fine, this is a byproduct. A car, a good salary. If you're good at what you do, these things will come naturally.
Eventually you'll get it. I think what you are saying, what we know from the survey from the CEOs of around Pakistan and global, they respond as that IBA grads are more responsive. They accept challenges. Sometimes take the responsibility and do it in time. Whatever the qualities you need in our graduates, that is already there.
Great, I want to see that.
I would like to say one thing, because summer is almost, it's after a few weeks. you can start taking our graduates and then give feedback.
And then
Either they have
First I want to meet them before I take them.
Proof of the cake is in the eating.
No, definitely. Trust me, I will be the happiest
I can
hiring
give
them.
you some of the students from first year BS and then see what we are giving to our first year students. Not the final year, not the third year, not the second year. First year, those who have done only introduction to programming and object-oriented programming course only.
One is when the attitude adjustment that was being talked about, in all the campus conversations that we've done and all the youngsters we've interacted with, I think the number one problem that keeps coming up is after 4 years of graduation, we are, or even during an internship process, we're giving filing to this.
Yeah, that's
So
essential
the
for
attitude
character
to work,
building.
hold on, so if there's a way, in all these things, we haven't been able to cross that barrier as to during the job process, why start after 4 years? Is it possible for the industry to perhaps initiate co-op programs where that filing can be done during 4th year, so you learn organizational hierarchy and structure during the 4th year or 3rd year, as opposed to wait 4 years, then get an attitude adjustment, and then go on forward. Secondly, there's one thing I had also mentioned to you when we first met was, if you have a world-class or an internationally recognized business program, why not have some interdisciplinary projects of problem solving where your business students identify specific problems, discuss them with through team building efforts, and combine projects where problem solving can be done amongst students for your, can you really take a problem, identify it, take it and resolve it, and bring some sort of efficiency. Even marketing problems always will have that efficiency issue. So if IT can be involved in that at that level, that might also help the problem solving.
Actually, it would be a shame if an institution like IDA with business and computer science graduates really cannot work on projects together. The disciplines should never be kept that.
There has to be some sort of integration.
Yeah.
Can we just quickly go
One more
around?
question,
Yeah.
last question. Do you have industry, as far as HR requirements is concerned, do you have industry HR requirement forecast available at least for 5 years?
No, not for 5 years. The industry keeps changing so
How
quickly.
about 3 years?
No, we don't.
Can we initiate? I think we should do that.
Unless
Let me give you the numbers, okay?
and until we have this forecast, how about if they, because BS program, MS program, they take a lot of time. So if we have this data available that these are the requirements in the future, then we can basically balance our, let's say, the level of supplies. Because if there is, let's say, no demand and we are keep on producing graduates in a particular area, what will happen? Market will saturate.
That is why I think it's extremely important that, as Kamran was pointing out, computer science graduates, if you give them the foundation that is required, the technologies will keep changing, but the basics will be needed. IT is not something that's going to go away very quickly. It's being integrated into everything. So any computer science graduate may not get a job in a software company, or they may go into a bank or a telecom company or into government or anywhere. So you are actually preparing them for a whole.
At least can we have this idea that how many consultants are required in the next 3 years?
Actually, just to gross the money, I think what, rather than specialization, what he's asking for specifically, right now we have 7,000 people employed, let's say, ballpark. Do we need 5,000 more, 10,000 more? That's a gross number.
But I don't think you can ever be accurate about that.
No, they're
Let's
very
say
accurate.
20% minus or plus side, but at least we'll have an idea.
That
and we can
research is
do
something
the
that
programming accordingly.
Let me put in context. Right now, you have NED producing maybe 30 decent graduates in the undergraduate business, maybe 50 if I'm generous. Okay. You have Sir Syed maybe producing 15 to 20 in the computer science discipline. You have IBA producing 17. That and FAST producing maybe 40. That supports every company in graduate. You're way behind. Collectively, we probably have so much demand. And that's all we get. We get 100 good graduates.
I think he's right. There's no question on demand.
Do you want more? Do you want
How
more?
many positions do you have open right
See,
now?
just
You just give us at least
I'll tell you
focus.
this, my forecast for one of my
At least
divisions
1,000.
is
At least 1,000, and you're producing 100, so you've got to go up.
No, 1,000 is nothing.
So we
My
need to match
one
the demand.
company, my forecast is
You just
150
need to go
people for
really
one
fast.
division.
I think the quality is.
He's talking about 1,000 quality
And
graduates.
all we want at the undergrad,
I would take 150
think
good
the
ones
master's
only.
level actually really needs some more thought. I think we need a separate day for the masters because I think your points are very nice. At the undergraduate level, please don't over-engineer us. Don't think about it so much. All we're looking for, and anyone please contribute, is good, stretched fundamentals. So you should have thought about advanced computer architecture in your undergrad. You should have been stretched in mathematics, analytical expertise, good attitude, good presentation skills, and hard work.
What it comes from Raheem, you, is that the problem lies in rigor, not in relevance.
Yes.
Because previously when Kamran spoke, he says that the problem lies in relevance. We got to fix it. We got to know first where we have to fix it.
I was saying that in the final year, in our economy, where everybody cannot go and do masters, they don't have time, they're supporting families, maybe they can't afford it. You still need, in the final year, you need people who do industry specific work. So they can do filing in their first year. Okay, they can do some teamwork, good followers on a team in their second year. So they should do internship every year. In the final year, they could be leading a project for me, implementing Microsoft SharePoint Photo, and they will get that relevance. Now, so, see, I'm saying in our economy, we don't have that luxury that you can just do 4 years of. I said first 2 years you are good for general problem solving. The second half of the bachelor's program, you see, your largest numbers are going to come from bachelors. Everybody cannot do masters, they cannot afford, they don't have time, and that's what I'm talking about. That's why I think that point which Raheem is making is also valid. But I don't want that you only do industry or product specific work in the master. You should do some of that in your final year already. That's what I was saying relevant should be done.
Definitely make the internship 10 weeks. Your 6-week internship is absolutely useless.
That's why they do.
Honestly, I'll tell you why I'm doing it. Purely for PR purposes, so that next year when I come here, people will have heard of the company. I'm going to have these people sit in a room, give them work, and I'm going to throw it away again. Because in 6 weeks I can do it. I agree industry experience is really useful in the last year. So we'll do it in the internship. We'll find a way to make that happen. Don't worry about it so much. Just give us that time. Focus on your fundamentals. We'll take care of it.
I think rigor is absolutely.
Please, rigor.
I would definitely tend to agree, having been through this system myself. A 6-week internship or 2.
Both are required, but I think the big gap is
There with the relevance.
Where the gap lies. And relevance is required. There is no absolutely.
Relevance is something that is really we can do for you.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
If you talk more and more to us, like this initiative today,
Yeah.
then the relevance will come. I mean, you're doing it for a business graduates. You know how to do it. I know that when Dr. Abdul Wahab used to be here, he used to personally go and meet the CEOs of companies. But for computer science, maybe Dr. Ishrat can do it, Dr. Ghani can do it. Come and talk to us. We have a lot of work to give you, which will get you that relevance. That's what
Yeah.
And
But
you,
I was,
you don't need to worry about the content. Just give us 10 weeks. We'll take care of it. But, I mean, does it really make a difference to me that I did not take advanced logic in my third year? No, I took advanced computer architecture in my third year. I still stretched myself. Right? It doesn't matter I didn't take advanced logic. It hasn't affected my career anyway. But I was stretched to be honest.
Okay, so I think this is a very commendable initiative. I strongly support it. I think some of the things that I would like to sort of emphasize as takeaways. I think when we go out and hire, we typically hire about 2 to 5% of the people that we test. And so again, rigor is having fundamentals, having basic problem solving, analytical skills, having a program in place that really instills that is, I think, the absolutely key fundamental, requirement of the industry. The industry will grow. There will be more interesting things. There will be, things that will keep changing. There will be lots of new courses to add to your elective, etc. That will keep happening. But if you've got a solid practitioner with solid fundamentals, then you can handle your team, can handle all of it.
I'll actually mention one more thing. There are many vendor-neutral organizations active in Karachi now. I'm on the board of 2 of them. So one is called Information System Audit and Control Association. It's also known as ISACA. It's vendor-neutral. It's global non-profit organization. And traditionally, it was in the business of producing IT auditors. We are now expanding its scope, and we are putting IT governance, IT management, IT project management, those kinds of areas in there. ISACA actually offers a whole master's curriculum which says that if you follow this, it offers this to universities like yours. If you follow that curriculum, then you can say we have a master's accredited by ISACA, which is a world famous organization for information systems, audit and control. There are only 7 universities in the world who follow that curriculum today. They're in the US and the UK primarily. Maybe you want to look at that option to enhance your stature more. You're doing something with Babson, you can look at this organization as well. Another one is the International Information Systems Security Association, again coming out of the US. It focuses on information security, that's another specialization. These are master's level things that you could adopt if you wish to increase your stature, and they are very relevant, especially in the financial services sector in our country.
Kamran, would faculty be available for those?
Yeah, the faculty actually comes from the industry. That's how it works. 100% faculty comes from, in fact, people who are members of ISACA Karachi chapter, so there's a chapter in Karachi, there's one in Lahore, one in Islamabad. Actually, people like me who work and who, we are ourselves certified in those disciplines. So we just don't have work experience. We've actually gone through the examination process to get ourselves certified. And that's how that program is regulated by ISACA worldwide. It's not just some fly-by-night operation. It's a very much established and respected program, operating in 180 countries. So people do go and get certification. Like I teach classes, there's a course called CISA, Certified Information Systems Auditor. There are sometimes I get final year students in my class and I ask them, what is motivating you? Because typically you get a lot of experienced people coming into those classes. And they just say that, nobody knows about this in my university. If I get this certification, I'll be 2 steps ahead of them. So you could promote that.
We're wrapping up.
I think I've already said too much.
Let's move on.
Not my points. We should think about the master's school.
Yeah, I think you pretty much have the right ingredients. We just, I think, if you follow up with some discussions with the students and streamline the transition into the industry, I think that's the only area that we really need to look at. The rest of the observations were, I think, very minor, like adding communications or oral communications to CS guys, adding some more quantitative courses and analytical courses.
You also mentioned about skills and attitudes. Do you have some ideas of how to actually impart these attitudes?
I don't know, ABA did a pretty good job with me imparting that. See, the thing is that...
let us comment on that.
See, I remember one of my bosses, he was the kind of guy who would tell me at 1:30 in the morning that, why don't you redraft this report like this and I'll check it after Fajr. And I didn't say, what the hell, I'm not going to do it. I just said, okay, fine. My thought process wasn't how I rejected it. I said, okay, fine, that's my deadline. I have to get home, shower, change, work on it, email it to him, then go to sleep. So I think it's just, it's the environment that builds it up. And if that has been ported on from the BBA program to the CS program, I don't see much of a challenge there. Just keep people grounded. That's why we make them file, make them fetch copy and everything.
Thanks for inviting me to this forum. Just a few points that I want to end with. I agree that the program is relevant to some degree. Academic rigor needs to be added. We need to push our undergraduates to a great extent. Brand building, brand imaging, that's something that's lacking for an IBA CS graduate. If I were to hire a CS graduate, IBA would not be at the top of my list of institutions to look for. Not because the graduates are not that great, it's just that IBA doesn't fit me as an institution which produces CS graduates. That's where the CDC exercise can come into place. But having been at IBA 10 years back, having been to a couple of universities abroad, I feel that the program is quite good. We just need to push the graduates a little harder.
I think this in itself is an initiative that will go through the evolution process, several iterations. I doubt the discussion today will create anything beyond a few suggestions for company. But one thing that I would like to emphasize would be to just do away with the 6-week internship, because that's the experience that many of us have been through, just like me, and add a full 12 weeks or 10 weeks semester-long experience. That would definitely add a lot to the quality of graduate education.
My overall feedback would be to the faculty, the computer science department here, and I do collaborate formally with Dr. Sajjad on some of our R&D initiatives. You have to understand what is your brand. I mean, what is your product? What are you producing? Because industry will pull you in all sorts of different directions. Different individuals will have different opinions. Dr. Ishrat wants to build high-end consulting. We want to build more hardcore programmers. Wherever it is, my opinion is that there's like 8 to 10 very significant areas that have been identified, from ethics and legal and communication skills all the way to rigor and work ethic. But you cannot solve all of these immediately or very quickly. So just focus on, make sure you clearly understand what is your product, who's the customer, and then just go about defining it and go achieve it. Once that has successfully been done, whatever you commit to based on this feedback, then move on to the next one. Or if you're going to try and solve too many problems at the same time, some of these are very difficult things to solve. If you want to focus on the export market, to produce graduates that are for the export industry or can be exported abroad, then let's just pick that as the product and then just build the curriculum and the training around it. Then us IT heads who need IT managers, just leave us aside for now, and maybe 2-3 years down the road you can come back to solving our problems. We may go to Zavist or someone else to solve our problems. So I mean, these are fairly specialized areas and expertise, and it's very unlikely that you can solve all the problems. So internally you need to decide based on feedback, and Pasha is always there, Pakistan Software Export Board is there, get their input and define the product. Once you've picked one, then you can readjust. The basics are all there, the foundation is there, just needs some fine-tuning.
I really think that the discussion has been very useful. I don't know how much, Dr. Lani, you and your team have benefited from this, and we should continue this conversation. As Kamran said, we really haven't got to first base with this yet, but this was needed before we can move forward. So perhaps smaller focus group meetings with different stakeholders, as Noman said, perhaps people who need software engineers, software companies have a different outlook on things. Maybe smaller meetings, they don't need to be this formal. They can be at one of the offices of the companies. Smaller group meetings, some with the banks, some with maybe people like IBM, who I think got totally offended and left because we said something. So, everybody has these needs, and whereas I agree with Noman that you need to figure out where your graduates will go, because you really do have a very small number at the moment, and focus on that. But the foundation is the same for all of these companies. So I would say, thank you for the opportunity, and thank you, gentlemen, for agreeing to be here. Some of you came in at very short notice, and I really appreciate that. And I hope next time we call, you will come, Kamran, especially you, since you say that you don't normally agree to these things. I think it's been very valuable.
Actually, I'm surprised at the amount of events you guys generate. And it's too fast-paced for me to keep up with, So I do say yes to a lot of them, but it appears like I'm not doing enough.
We
The
understand.
pace you guys go is amazing, and it should keep going that way.
We're going to ask you to join us tomorrow.
Not this evening?
This evening and tomorrow. So, well, thank you very much. I do think what everyone has said has been helpful, at least for a starting point. But once again, it's extremely important to benchmark certain areas. You'll hear different kinds of perspectives from everyone. Banks will want something, Pasha will want something, more banks will want something else. And you ultimately have to create the product. So they have their benchmarks, and I think perhaps either over email, virtually, or in smaller quarters, at least get out that these are the benchmarks we need to aspire to achieve if we want to get into finance. And I think rather than go to Rosie, or even though Rosie's very nice,
Yeah, nothing against
create your profile of the what the job profile should be, rather than say it should be this kind of a programmer or this kind of a language. And I think if you kind of assimilate that way, you might be able to do better. But I think it's definitely the first step, and you will have to do a lot more of this.
And Rabia, thank you very much, because you played a great part in sort of getting everybody together and making sure this happens. I think it's amazing what CIO Pakistan does in terms of getting
And the speed at which they're going. So
And
are we going to get some words out of Dr. Rani?
Yes.
So,
Yes,
well,
of course.
I was just going to thank everybody for actually having taken out the time to come here. I think, very frankly, I think we benefited a lot from this session. We've got actually more things to work on than we thought we had, but we've got our hands full. But we would need far many more sessions like this for us to make a real change. And I would encourage all of you, as many of you who can continue to participate in such activities, to help us in defining. And also, as Kamran has suggested, to have projects, final year projects, or even maybe mid-year projects, which are real projects that students can work on. That's something that is really worth working on. So I'd like to thank all of you, and I hope you'll be joining us for lunch. We lose quite a few. Thank you very much.
Used to be about 65 to 70% passing rate, that I remember in my days.
John, is something I've been thinking about later. How many CS graduates actually stay in the CS field after 5 years?
I know, I've been thinking about that a lot.
Hey, somebody may just have them.
It's one of the highest paying jobs.
CS graduate?
A seasoned ID grad.
The loss is a waste of our resources.
Really?
I'm really sorry.
Oh, sorry. And can I also, once again, thank you everybody for taking up this year, emphasis